Mary Jones smoothly slid the tip of her pencil across a sheet of paper, her mind brimming with ideas. Her spacious office at Jones Decor, the largest decorating company in the USA, was impeccably organized, except for the desk, which was covered with sketches and material samples. Large panoramic windows revealed the view that always inspired her, her lush garden. With a cup of green tea by her side, Mary gazed at the blooming orchids. Perhaps, she murmured to herself, a chandelier that captures the essence of an orchid. Lost in her thoughts, she began to sketch the shape of the flower, imagining how crystals could emulate the morning dewdrops on the petals. Her phone rang, breaking her concentration. It was a photo of her grandchildren sent by her daughter, reminding her of the family dinner that night. Mary smiled, thinking about how fortunate she was to have such a loving and supportive family. As she got lost in her grandchildren's blue eyes in the photo, her door gently opened. William, her right-hand man and longtime friend, walked in. He wore a serious expression, something rare on his usually cheerful face. "Mary," he began hesitantly, "there's something I need to tell you." She raised her eyes, feeling a twinge of concern. "What's happened, William?" He sighed deeply. "I've received an offer in Switzerland, and it's not professional, Mary. It's personal. I met someone, and, well, we've decided to give it a chance." Mary fell silent for a moment, processing the information. William had always been her pillar in the company, the voice of reason, her advisor. The idea of losing her friend and colleague was a blow. "I always knew this day would come," she said softly, forcing a smile, "but I didn't expect it to be so soon." William smiled sadly. "Neither did I, but life has its surprises." The two of them sat down, discussing the details of the transition and the implications for the company. Although Mary was genuinely happy for William, she couldn't help but feel a wave of concern about who could fill his shoes in the company. As the afternoon wore on, the room was filled with the scent of the garden's orchids and the promise of new beginnings. And though the future was uncertain, Mary Jones was determined to face it with the same passion and determination that had brought her to the top. William, with his ever calm and confident demeanor, glanced at the calendar on his desk. The number 365 was highlighted in red, reminding him that he had exactly 1 year before embarking on his new adventure in Switzerland. He knew that one of his biggest challenges would be preparing his successor. A soft knock on his office door broke his reverie. It was Ashley, the vice director, with her upright posture and piercing gaze. She entered without waiting for an invitation, exuding self-assurance. "William," she began with a triumphant smile, "I've heard rumors about your departure. I suppose that means a promotion for me." William, with his characteristic patience, replied, "Plans for my succession are still under discussion, Ashley. Nothing has been decided yet." Ashley raised an eyebrow, her confidence bordering on arrogance. "Well, considering my position and experience, it's obvious that I'm the logical choice." It was true that Ashley had confidence. She had a sharp business mind, an incredible ability to solve complex problems, and relentless dedication to her work. But her confidence often teetered on arrogance, and there were rumors circulating around the company corridors about her less than ethical tactics to get what she wanted. Later that day, William met with Mary in her office. The large windows in Mary's office provided a perfect view of the garden, and the two sat with teacups in hand, pondering the future of the company. "Ashley came to talk to me today," William began. "She seems quite certain that the CEO position will be hers." Mary sighed, slowly stirring her tea in her cup. "I'm aware of her potential, William, but I also have my reservations." William nodded. "Are you referring to the stories about her honesty?" Mary looked out at the garden, her eyes fixed on the orchids. "There's something about Ashley that I can't quite put my finger on. She's brilliant, no doubt, but every now and then, I've noticed some attitudes that make me question her character." William agreed. "We need someone who can lead with integrity, especially in challenging times." Exactly, Mary said. We have 1 year, William. Let's make sure we choose the right person. The two raised their cups, committed to ensuring the best future for the company, no matter the turbulence that might arise. On a sunny afternoon, Jones's Decor's spacious auditorium was filled with employees. Everyone was eager, waiting for the big announcement that Mary was about to make. The velvet chairs, the enormous chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and the beautiful orchids arranged on the stage created an atmosphere of anticipation. Mary took the stage, immediately capturing everyone's attention. She took a deep breath and began, as many of you know, William will be moving on next year. This is a period of change and reflection for our company. Murmurs filled the room as employees exchanged curious glances. I've decided that the selection process for the next CEO will be open to all employees, regardless of their position. I want everyone to have the opportunity to demonstrate their worth and passion for Jones's Decor. A buzz of surprise echoed through the auditorium. Ashley, seated in the front row, stood up abruptly, interrupting Mary. Her face was flushed, and her eyes revealed her indignation. With all due respect, Mary, said Ashley, her voice trembling with emotion, this is ridiculous. How can you consider any employee for this role? Some don't even have the proper education. Mary, unflinching, responded calmly, leadership is not just about degrees or titles, Ashley. It's about character, passion, and dedication to the company, and everyone deserves a chance to show that. Ashley, still incredulous, retorted, what if someone like a janitor were to win? How would they run a company the size of Jones's Decor? Mary, with a firm and determined look, replied, if someone, be it a janitor or any other employee, demonstrates the character and integrity we seek, I commit to funding their education and training. This company has always been about giving opportunities and trusting in people. The auditorium fell silent, with everyone absorbing the impact of Mary's words. Ashley, realizing she wouldn't win that battle, sat down, her face a mixture of frustration and resignation. Mary continued, I want everyone here to know that I believe in each and every one of you, and I hope you take this opportunity not just for the position but to show your very best. After the meeting ended with applause and a sense of anticipation in the air, the company was about to embark on a new chapter, and everyone was eager to see what the future held. Jones Decor's spacious conference hall was filled with the hum of conversations and speculations. Employees from departments had gathered eagerly awaiting the announcement of the selection process methodology. A projection displayed images of beautiful landscapes with various plants, leaving everyone curious. Mary took the stage, holding a small wooden box. She waited for a moment until the silence prevailed. Good afternoon, everyone, Mary began, her voice firm and steady. I've given a lot of thought to how we should select our next CEO, and I've decided that instead of traditional interviews or tests, we will use a more organic approach. She opened the box, revealing numerous small packets of seeds. Each of you will receive a packet of these seeds. Your task is to cultivate and care for this seed over the next 3 months. At the end of that period, bring the resulting plant to be displayed in our garden. The most beautiful and well-cared-for plant will determine who our next CEO will be. A murmur of surprise and confusion spread through the hall. Ashley, the vice director, frowned visibly disturbed. She stood up abruptly, her expression filled with indignation. Are you serious, Mary? Is this some kind of joke? How can growing a plant determine who is fit to be the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company? Mary, unfazed, maintained a calm and serene demeanor. Leading a company is not just about numbers and strategies. It's about patience, care, dedication, and the ability to nurture and make things grow. Taking care of something as fragile and delicate as a plant is a perfect metaphor for that. If someone can't take care of a simple plant, how can they take care of a company and its employees? Ashley huffed, her eyes sparking. This is ridiculous. I expected more professionalism from someone like you, Mary. Maintaining her composure, Mary said, sometimes the simplest approaches are the most effective. Give it a chance, Ashley. You may be surprised by what you'll learn. The hall returned to its initial buzz, with employees exchanging impressions. Some excited, others skeptical, but everyone knew that the next phase of Jones's Decor would undoubtedly be one of the most unforgettable. The hall was filled with lively conversations about the unusual challenge. In the corner, Jordan, a middle-aged janitor, quietly observed everyone. His hair was beginning to show the first strands of gray, and the lines on his face reflected countless sleepless nights worried about his family's well-being. He tightly held the seed packet, thinking about the opportunities that could arise. When he got home that night, he was enthusiastically greeted by his two children, Lucy and Max, and his wife, Lana. "Dad, I heard there's a challenge at your company about growing a plant." "Is that true?" asked Max, his eyes gleaming with curiosity. Jordan smiled, ruffling his son's hair. "It's true, buddy, and I think this might be our chance to make things better around here." Lana, with a concerned look, questioned, "But do you know anything about gardening, dear?" "Not much," admitted Jordan, "but I'm willing to learn and give it my best shot. I believe that if we succeed, it could be the turning point we need." In the following days, Jordan immersed himself in the world of gardening. He used his meager savings to buy a pot, quality soil, and some special fertilizers. Lana and the kids helped him prepare a small space on their apartment's balcony where the plant would receive the right amount of sunlight. However, as the days went by, Jordan's initial enthusiasm gave way to concern. Despite constant care, watering just right, and using fertilizers, his plant showed no signs of growth. He spent hours reading about gardening, seeking tips and tricks, but nothing seemed to work. At the company, he overheard colleagues' animated conversations about the rapid growth of their plants. Some secretaries even brought in photos to show their progress. Each laugh, each proud comment felt like a dagger in Jordan's heart. One morning while cleaning the conference room, he overheard two colleagues saying, "My plant already has flowers. I can't wait to show it to Mrs. Jones." The other one laughed, adding, "Poor Jordan, I bet he doesn't even know how to plant a seed properly." Jordan felt a lump in his throat, his colleagues' words amplifying his sense of defeat. But he remembered the sparkle in his children's eyes and his wife's unwavering support. He couldn't give up now. Even as discouraged as he grew, Jordan was determined to keep trying, hoping for a miracle for his plant and his family. And the big day had arrived. Jordan woke up to the sound of birds outside the window. A shy light of dawn streamed through the curtains, illuminating the pot sitting on the table beside the bed. With sleepy eyes, he looked hopefully at the pot. But his heart sank as he saw the soil still intact with no sign of life sprouting. He sighed deeply, feeling a weight in his chest. The hope that had once propelled him into the challenge now seemed like a distant dream. The idea of facing his colleagues and their flourishing plants with his empty pot was humiliating. "Jordan." Lana's gentle voice came from the hallway. "Is everything okay? You seem distant." I really thought I could do this, Lana. I thought I could make this plant grow and prove to everyone that I'm capable." Lana entered the room with a tray filled with treats. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafted into the room, accompanied by the sweet scent of pancakes and fresh fruit. Jordan's eyes lit up as he saw his wife's effort. "I know it's been tough," said Lana, placing the tray on the bed, "but it's not the plant that defines who you are. It's the dedication and love you put into everything you do. You don't need a plant to prove that." Jordan picked up one of the pancakes, tasting the sweet maple syrup. "Thank you, Lana. Just the fact that you're here supporting me means the world to me." Max and Lucy burst into the room, jumping on the bed and enveloping Jordan in a collective hug. "Dad, it doesn't matter if your plant didn't grow," Lucy said, her eyes shining with sincerity. "We love you just the same." Max nodded in agreement. That's right, Dad. And you always tell us never to give up, right? Jordan chuckled, rubbing his eyes to wipe away the tears threatening to fall. You're right. I have the best family in the world, and I'm going to work today with or without a plant. Lana smiled, squeezing Jordan's hand. That's the spirit. Go and show them what really matters. And so, with his heart filled with love and determination, Jordan went to work, ready to face whatever came his way, even with his empty pot. And you, would you take the pot even empty, or would you try to find a way to get the promotion? Leave your opinion in the comments. The main hall of the decorating company was unrecognizable. Large dark wooden tables had been arranged in rows, each occupied by pots of plants displaying a profusion of colors and shapes. Morning sunlight streamed in through the wide windows, making the plants shine even more. The murmur of employees filled the space as they admired each other's work, exchanging compliments and comments. Jordan hesitated at the entrance, holding his empty pot. He could feel curious glances and some stifled giggles. Swallowing hard, he looked for a discreet place to put his pot, feeling increasingly small amidst that botanical splendor. He wondered why he had come. Then, with a loud and clear click of heels on the marble floor, Ashley made her triumphant entrance. She carried with her a white porcelain pot containing vibrant blue orchids. The combination was so stunning that it caused an instant buzz among those present. With a confident smile, Ashley placed her pot in the center of the room, making sure everyone could admire it. Mary will love this, she whispered to a colleague nearby with a mischievous smile. William, with his ever-watchful gaze, observed each plant, jotting down notes in his notebook as he approached Ashley's orchids. He raised an impressed eyebrow. Well, Ashley, he said, admiring the flowers, these are truly special. It's going to be a tough decision. Ashley cast a victorious glance in Jordan's direction, as if she had already won. Jordan, feeling the weight of defeat, looked away. Then, a hush spread through the room as Mary entered, dressed elegantly. She walked through the room, carefully examining each plant. She didn't say a word, but her expression revealed the seriousness of the moment. When she reached Ashley's table, she gently touched one of the blue orchids, her gaze inscrutable. Ashley expected praise, but Mary simply continued, stopping in front of Jordan's empty pot. Mary turned to everyone, her posture firm and decisive. I know many of you put in great effort, and the plants here are truly magnificent. But the decision, well, it has been made. In that room filled with lush plants, everyone anxiously awaited Mary's verdict. The silence was palpable. Mary, standing at the front of the room, clearly had something important to say. Everyone turned to her, eager to hear the verdict. Even Ashley's vibrant orchids seemed to wait in anticipation. Before I announce my decision, Mary began, her clear voice echoing through the room, there is something you all must know. She paused, giving everyone a moment to absorb the gravity of her words. The seeds I handed out to each of you were infertile, she revealed. A murmur of surprise spread through the room. People exchanged confused looks, and Ashley visibly paled. Yes, Mary continued, they could not germinate. My challenge was not to see who could grow the most beautiful plant. It was a test of character, of honesty. She turned directly to Ashley, her piercing eyes meeting hers. It is virtually impossible to obtain blue orchids the way you presented, Ashley, unless, of course, you cheated. Ashley swallowed hard, clearly uncomfortable under Mary's gaze. I just wanted to impress, she muttered defensively. I thought it would please you. Jordan, still standing by his empty pot, felt a knot in his stomach. He watched Mary, expecting a similar reprimand. After all, he hadn't brought anything. But Mary had a different twinkle in her eye when she looked at him. Jordan, she began, despite your pot being empty, you were the only one who proved to be truly honest. You didn't try to deceive me with a different plant. The room fell silent, everyone's gaze fixed on Jordan. He was stunned. Never in his wildest dreams had he imagined that his empty pot would be the key to his victory. Mary smiled warmly. In a company, skill is important, yes, but integrity and honesty are fundamental. And today, Jordan, you have proven to possess both. Jordan's face lit up, a mix of surprise and gratitude. For a moment, he was the center of attention, the janitor who had surpassed all expectations. And in his humility and sincerity, he had earned the respect of everyone in the room. Mary's revelation resonated throughout the room, leaving a tense and incredulous atmosphere. Ashley, always confident and self-assured, was now visibly shaken. Her face, which had once held the certainty of victory, now displayed the shame of being exposed. Behind her, some employees murmured among themselves, casting disapproving glances in her direction. It was evident that many, like Ashley, had attempted to cheat and now faced judgment not only from Mary but from the entire company. I just thought that. Ashley began, her voice trembling. Mary interrupted her, her voice firm. That being dishonest would be worth it, that winning at any cost was the right path. Ashley swallowed hard, unable to respond. Her eyes filled with tears as she looked around, seeking support. But all she found were looks of disappointment. On the other side of the room, Jordan remained stunned, still trying to process everything that was happening. His empty pot, once a source of shame, now symbolized his integrity. William approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You deserve this, Jordan," he whispered. "Your honesty has been recognized, and that's what the company needs." Mary, sensing Ashley's discomfort, decided to redirect the attention to something more positive. "Today, we've learned a valuable lesson," she began. "Integrity and sincerity are attributes that cannot be underestimated. And that's why Jordan will be our new CEO." The room erupted in applause, everyone turning their attention and admiration to the janitor who, against all odds, had proven his worth. Ashley, on the other hand, felt increasingly smaller. Her pride and arrogance had been her downfall. With one last look at Mary, she turned and left the room, her posture defeated. "I need some time," she murmured to herself as she walked down the corridor. The truth was that the shame and humiliation were too much for her to bear. And so, by the end of the day, Ashley submitted her resignation letter, choosing to step away from the company and the disgrace she had brought upon herself. After the promotion, Jordan underwent intense training as there was little time left before William's departure. And in due course, Jordan assumed his new position. He continued with unwavering integrity. Thus, Jordan's life took a significant turn, and Mary could rest assured that she had a trustworthy person in the CEO position of her company, while William moved on and had a beautiful and wonderful marriage. Thank you for joining us today on Deep Stories. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video.